Hello everyone, welcome to third grade. I'm your teacher, Mr. Ritenour, and if you'd like to make this video bigger, click the YouTube button below. Alright folks, we are going to kick it off with a little clip from one of our students, and I'm not going to tell you who. Even this student doesn't know because their mom sent this video to me secretly. So can you figure out who this room 304 student is? Okay, that was awesome. Let's watch it one more time, see if you can figure it out. Wow, that was awesome. So, who could that be? Well, that kid could really rip. You might think it's a boy, but it's not. It's our very own Patina. Peyton Cogswell, that is awesome. You are flying. I love it. Way to go. Thank you so much. Tell your mom I said thank you for sending that to me. And if you, boys and girls, if one of you would like to be like Patina and Carson and Emily and get your video on um, our daily lessons, just have your parents send it to me, all right? So great job, Peyton. That was fantastic. Keep ripping. All right. We are going to start off, or continue, I guess, our morning with some common sense, all right? So, common sense lesson today. If you're walking or running, stay on the left side of the street. If you're riding your bike or rollerblading, stay on the right, okay? So, if it has wheels, you need to be on the right. If it doesn't, you should be on the left, okay? It's really important that you know these rules because it can keep you safe, all right? Common sense can keep you safe. And if you ever forget, the easiest thing to remember is ride on the right. If you can remember the R sound, ride on the right, so riding bikes, riding rollerblades, it'll help you remember that riding on the right means that you should walk on the left. Okay. Now, please go get your Go Math books and a writing utensil. If you don't have that in front of you, pause the video and go get that now. All right, boys and girls, we are on page 723, lesson 12.5. Yesterday we did a little review so far of what we've learned. Today we are going to dive into some very specific types of quadrilaterals. So, Jasper, how many sides does a quadrilateral have? Yeah, it has 4 sides, right? 4 sides. And Evan, is a quadrilateral a polygon? Yes, it is. Quadrilateral has straight sides and is closed. All right, London, is a quadrilateral a two-dimensional shape? Oh yeah, it's a plane shape or 2D shape as we call it. And let's see who's up next. Sophie, two-dimensional shapes, are they part of geometry? Yeah, you betcha. Geometry is the study of shapes. So if you look here, we've kind of got ourselves a little pyramid. Let me just try to center this. So far what we've been learning, we started with basic geometry and we've got more specific each day. We talked about two-dimensional shapes, then we started talking about polygons, and today we're going to talk specifically about two-dimensional polygons, okay? So if you look here, I've got like a pyramid kind of. see that? I like to think of it more like an arrowhead because arrowheads are awesome. So we're going to be dealing with the very tip of our pyramid today, and that's the specific types of quadrilaterals. Let's start with the very first one, all right? So we can quickly fill this answer in. Quadrilaterals have 4 sides and 4 angles. The very first type of quadrilateral today is a trapezoid. Now, a trapezoid, I'm going to get rid of these because I don't need those lines. A trapezoid has at least one pair of opposite parallel sides. All right, blah blah blah. That's a bunch of fancy math words. All it means is that opposite sides are parallel. This was from the other day's math lesson. Parallel lines will never ever touch. All right, think about an equal sign. That's like parallel lines. All right. Now the trapezoid only has to have one pair. Unlike the other 3 shapes that we're going to learn. So pretty much any quadrilateral that has at least one pair of parallel sides is going to be a trapezoid. So we see a lot of trapezoids. Rectangles. Rectangles, you've learned since like kindergarten, they have 2 pairs of parallel sides, and they have 2 pairs of equal sides. How many right angles do you think a rectangle has? Well, a rectangle actually, by definition, has 4. All 4 corners have to be a right angle or else it's not a rectangle. Okay, so Jasper, you're up. Squares. How many pairs of opposite sides are parallel? 2. Good job, Jasper. You've got these sides, and you've got the top and the bottom. All right, so that's 1 pair, 2 pairs. Okay, Evan, how many sides are equal in a square? This is what makes a square different than a rectangle. A square has to have how many equal sides? Good job, Evan. It has to have 4 equal sides. I apologize, that looked like a 9. 4 equal sides. And, London, just like a rectangle, a square has how many right angles? 1, 2, 3, 4. Muy bien, chica. 4 right angles. Okay. Now let's move on to our last quadrilateral that we need to have memorized, and that's a rhombus. So Sophie, if you look down here, we've got 2 rhombuses, all right? We've got this one and this one. Both rhombuses have how many pairs of opposite sides, Sophie, that are parallel? Yeah, 2, right? 1, 2. 1, 2. That's absolutely mandatory for a rhombus. It has to have opposite parallel sides, just like a square, just like a rectangle. But the difference here is that a rhombus, like a square, has to have how many equal sides? Bobby, look back here at the square. The square had how many equal sides? 4. Good job. So a rhombus has 4 equal sides. The only difference between a rhombus then and a square is right here. There's nothing, it's just blank, because there's no rules about the angles. A square has to have right angles, a rhombus doesn't. It can have any type of angle. For instance, this is a square, but it's also a rhombus. But this one is only a rhombus because it has obtuse sides and acute sides. All right, so we're going to keep practicing. But we now added 4 quadrilaterals to our vocabulary list. Trapezoid, check. Rectangle, check. Square, check. Rhombus, check. And there's even a fifth one. It's a bonus one. And this is called a parallelogram. A parallelogram is a shape that has two pairs of parallel sides. And this is your bonus, like, fourth grade word. You do not need to know for third grade, but you will see that later on in life. And so I'm always trying to not just prepare you for a third grade test, but I'm trying to prepare you for life. So maybe you want to lock that one in your brain too. All right. Moving on, next page. So look at the quadrilateral at the right. We know it's a quadrilateral because, Lucas, four sides, right? Good. Outline each pair means two, of opposite sides that are parallel with a different color. So boys and girls, if you have crayons or colored pencils or pens, markers, whatever, now's the time to bust those out, okay? If you need to pause and go get those, it might help you. How many pairs of opposite sides appear to be parallel? So let me use purple first. My sides are parallel. I know that they're parallel because they will never touch. They're going in the exact same direction, up and down. And then I'm going to use, let's use yellow here. My bottom and my top are also parallel. Why are they parallel? Patina, why are the top and the bottom parallel? Yeah, they'll never touch. They're always going to be the same distance apart. They're not at any angle to each other. They're running in the same direction. Good job, Peyton. So let's count. I've got how many pairs? Well, I've got a purple pair, so that's one. And I also have a yellow pair, so that's two pairs. All right, Cody, you've got the next question. Look at the parallel sides that we colored. The sides in each pair are of blank length. So here's your two options, Cody. Are they of different length or equal length? Are those purple lines the same? Are those yellow lines the same? Or are they both different? Good, they're the same length. Now, number 3, Peyton Fisher. How many different names do we have for this quadrilateral? Just give me the first one, the most fitting name. Okay, what's the best name for that quadrilateral? What do you get, Fish? Yeah, I agree. It's a rectangle first. All right, Peyton, let's keep thinking, okay? We know 3 other types. Is this shape also a square? No, it's not, right? It doesn't have, good, 4 equal sides, so it is not a square. Is this shape a rhombus? Well, if you look back at our last page, a rhombus has to have 4 equal sides. So this obviously doesn't, so it's not a rhombus either. That gives us one more option. Fish, is this also a trapezoid? The answer is yes. Why is it also a trapezoid? Well, it's because if you look back at our last page, the only thing that makes a quadrilateral a trapezoid, the only thing that's required is 1 pair of parallel sides. In this case, we have not just 1, we've got the yellow, but we have 2, the purple. So if the shape is a rectangle, it's always going to be a trapezoid as well. All right, but normally, whenever someone asks us what shape it is, we choose the best answer. And the best answer is always the most specific answer, okay? If you learn one thing from me today, everyone listen very closely. The best answer is always the most specific answer. Okay? So, perfect example right here. I'm going to draw a square. That's a square. It's got 4 right angles, right? It's got 4 equal sides. If you were to tell me that that is a rhombus, you would be right, but you would not be perfectly right. You're not being specific enough, Okay, so if you told me that was a rhombus, you'd be right and you'd be wrong. Because technically it is a rhombus, but it's specifically a type of rhombus called a square because it has 4 right angles. So be specific, folks. Please be specific. All right, so now that I went on my little rant for the day, we can move on. Number 4. Let's see, we left off with fish, so Doobie, you're up. Which words describe number 4? So, is it a rectangle, Doobs? Absolutely. Is it a rhombus? Well, does it have 4 equal sides, Doobs? Nope, definitely not a rhombus. Is it a square? Does it have 4 equal sides? Nope. Is it a trapezoid? Well, we just talked about this. Pretty much any shape that's a rectangle, rhombus, or square is also a trapezoid because a trapezoid just means it has a pair of parallel sides. All right, number 5. Is that shape a rhombus? Let's see. We are on Emily. Is it a rhombus? Does it have 4 equal sides? Yeah, definitely does. So that shape's a rhombus. Is it a quadrilateral? Good job, Emily. It is because that's 4 sides. Is it a square, Emily? Why not? Good. I'm glad that you didn't say because it has 4 equal sides. It's not a square because it doesn't have right angles. If you don't believe me, just look right here, right? This is a big fat angle, right? That's an obtuse. Down here, we've got a tiny acute angle up top, all right? So we know that that is not a square. It doesn't have right angles. It would have these symbols right here, these little boxes. So keep going, Emily. Is it a rectangle? Well, does it have right angles? No, it doesn't. So it's not a rectangle either. Good job, Popovich. Number 6, Willow. Is that a rectangle? Well, duh, it's not, right? Obviously, it doesn't look like a rectangle. It doesn't have right angles or opposite sides that are equal. Is it a rhombus? I don't think so. Why, Willow? Well, because this side is longer than that side, and in order for it to be a rhombus, all 4 sides have to be, you said it, equal. Is it a trapezoid? Why, yes. Good job, Willow. It is a trapezoid because of one little thing, and all you need for a trapezoid is this special little thing, and that is 1 pair of parallel sides. So those 2 sides are parallel. They will never, ever, ever cross. I could go on forever in this way, and forever in this way, and they'll always be the same distance apart. Last but not least, is it a quadrilateral? Well, how many sides does it have, Willow? Good, 4 sides. Well done, folks. So we're kind of doing the same exact thing here, which is good because we need the practice. I left off with Willow, so Michael, it's your turn. Is that a rectangle, yes or no? It is not. Is it a trapezoid? Do you see any parallel sides? I don't either. Is it a quadrilateral? 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, so yeah, it is. And is it a rhombus? Are all 4 of the sides equal? No. Good job, Michael. All right, Carson, is it a rectangle? Don't be fooled here. We've got 1, 2 right angles, but this is an obtuse and this one's an acute. And we know rectangles have to have 4 right angles, so it's not a rectangle, Carson. Is it a rhombus? Rhombuses have how many equal sides? 4. It is not a rhombus either. Is it a trapezoid? Well, it needs to have 1 pair of parallel sides. I've got 1 pair right there. You see that? The top and the bottom are parallel. So we know for a fact that this has to be at least a trapezoid. And is it a square? Definitely not. Good job, Carson. Mr. Shep, Is number 9 a quadrilateral? Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Good job, Wiley. Is it a square? Uh-huh, it is, right? 4 equal sides, 4 right angles. Is it a rectangle? You get the best one, Wiley. Yes, believe it or not, it's a square and it's a rectangle. Why? Well, because a rectangle has 4 right angles, which this one clearly does, and 2 pairs of parallel sides. See, you've got the black and the green. They're both parallel. So technically, it's a rectangle as well. Now, whenever I was a kid, there was this expression that my math teacher would always say. She'd always say this. She said, all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares. And maybe now you understand what, if you heard that, maybe now you understand what that means. I know I do. All squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares. Think about it. It might make sense to you whenever you're 27 like me. Last but not least, Wiley, is this also a rhombus? I don't know why I did green. Yes, it is, because a rhombus has 4 equal sides, which this clearly does, and opposite sides are parallel, which this clearly has. So number 9 was my favorite. It has everything. Moving on, folks. We are cruising through these 4-sided shapes. Number 10. Use the quadrilaterals at the right for questions 10 through 12. Number 10. Which quadrilaterals have 4 right angles? You figured out. I'll give you 10 seconds and then I'll write my answer. Okay. Did you get 2 answers? I know I did. I got B. See that square right there? It's got 4 right angles. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was bad. 4. And I got one other one too. Also got C. 1, 2, 3. Now A would have been the tricky one because A has 2, but these sides are not right angles. So A was there to trick you. Number 11. Which quadrilaterals appear to have 2 pairs of opposite sides that are parallel? Once again, I'll give you time to find the shapes that have 2 pairs of parallel sides. Did you get 3 answers? I did. I got B again, C again, and I got one other one this time. Yep, letter D. Letter D. We've got 1, 2. That's 1 pair, I guess I should say. 1 pair. And then I've got 1, 2. So I've got 2 pairs of parallel sides. Okay, so let me get rid of that. Number 12. Which quadrilaterals appear to have no right angles? Good luck. Okay, I got 3 answers. Let's see if you got the same as me. First, the letter D, shape D, has no right angles. No perfect corners, right? How about letter E as well? It's got 2 obtuse angles and 2 acute angles down here. And one other one I got shape F actually, this arrowhead down here. All of these angles are what appear to be acute, or in this case, this one appears to be obtuse. So D, E, and F don't have right angles. A obviously has 2 at the bottom. Number 13, we need to write all or some. Number 13, the opposite sides of blank rectangles are parallel. So all rectangles have parallel sides or some. Jasper, we're back to you. Yeah, all. Good job. All rectangles have parallel sides. All right, 14. Evan, all sides of a rhombus are the same or some sides? Good job, Evan. A rhombus is special because it does have all equal sides. London, are all squares rectangles or are some squares rectangles? Well, this goes back to my geometry teacher, right? All squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares. Number 16, Sophie. Blank rhombuses are squares. Are all rhombuses squares or some? Good job, Sophie. We got our first sum. All right. If you don't believe me, I'll draw 2 quick pictures here. Both are rhombuses. One's a square, and one is not. Okay? These are both rhombuses because they both have 4 equal sides. But notice how the one shape on the right does not have right angles. So it's not technically a square, but it is a rhombus still. That's why our answer was some. Bobby, are all quadrilaterals polygons or some? Bobby, if you're not sure, let's go back to this pyramid here. So here's polygons right here. Notice the next step up is quadrilaterals, or 4 sides. So which one's on top? Quadrilaterals, right? So a quadrilateral has to rest on the foundation of being a polygon. So back to our question, all or some? Well, all quadrilaterals now have to be polygons, all right? Quadrilateral by definition is a 4-sided polygon. Number 18, blank polygons are quadrilaterals. Well, that definitely is what, Lucas? Good. I can give you a bunch of examples of polygons that are not quadrilaterals. There's one right there. You want another example? How about this pentagon, right? Plenty of shapes are, plenty of polygons are not quadrilaterals, but plenty are. For instance, a square or a rectangle, these are polygons that are. That's why the answer is not all, but some. All right, which shape is not a quadrilateral? Number 19. What do you think? Patina. Which one's not a quadrilateral? Well, which one doesn't have 4 sides? Ding, 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 ding. The pentagon. It says explain your choice. Well, pentagon has 5 sides, right? Simple as that. Let's quickly move on here. Time's running out. Think smarter. I like number 20. I am a polygon that has 4 sides and 4 angles. At least one of my angles is less than a right angle. Circle all the shapes that I could be. Okay. So right off the bat, it says 4 sides and 4 angles. Which answer do we know for a fact is a polygon that has 4 sides and 4 angles? Cody? Absolutely. We know that this is a quadrilateral. Now, it says one angle is less than a right angle. So right off the bat, we can eliminate our right angle polygons. Which ones are right angle polygons? Good. Squares. So we can get rid of square. And rectangle. Squares and rectangles have to have right angles, so we can get rid of both of those. Could this shape be a rhombus? Well, yeah, it could be. Could this shape be a trapezoid? Fish? Could it be a trapezoid? Yeah, could be. So really the only two that it can't be are squares and rectangles because we know it doesn't have right angles. All right, I like that question. So this whole page is perfect review for what we need. And that's why we're going to do it quickly though. We're going to work really hard and we're going to do it quickly because I think it's really important. This math lesson, I hope, will stick with you for the rest of your life because you will see these quadrilaterals come up every single year that you're in school. Even in high school, you'll see them come back. So let's build that foundation, boys and girls. Number 21. Identify the quadrilateral that can have two pairs, parallel sides, but no right angles. So which ones can we eliminate right off the bat that have right angles? Well, we can eliminate squares. They have to. And rectangles have to have right angles. Don't believe me? There's a rectangle. There's a square. All four angles are perfect right angles. Okay? So the only answer would be A. Because a rhombus does not have to have right angles. Okay, blah, 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 blah. So the first bullet point, Jacob, can you name me every single shape that's a polygon? Let's just start with A, all right, Jacob? Yes or no? Good, A. How about B? Yep. C? No. C is a big no-no, right, Jake? Because it's got round sides. D? Once again, Dubes, good job. It's got curved edges. E? I like E. F, Doobie? Good. G? Good. H? Good. I? Good. And then J, Jacob, definitely not. It's got round sides as well. All right, you crushed it. Crushed it, Doobie. Next, Emily. Which ones are not polygons? So of all the ones that we just did, the ones that we didn't write down have to be not polygons, right? So if you look here, we said what, Emily? C, D, and J. All right, thank you, Emily. Which ones of those are quadrilaterals? So which ones have four sides? Let's see. Willow, you're up. Does A have four sides? Yep. Does B have four sides? Nope, it's got five. C is not a polygon. D is not a polygon. So E, does E have four sides? Uh-huh. G, sorry, I skipped one. F. F is, right, Willow? And G is also, why not H? Yeah, it's got three sides. It's a triangle. Why not I? Because it is a pentagon. And J, we said already, has round sides, so it's not even a polygon. All right, good job, Parker. Next, we have Michael. Which shapes have only one pair of opposite sides that are parallel? You know what? Actually, Michael, we're just going to stop right there and move on for the sake of time, because those were the first three questions were the most important, I think. So, Michael, you've got the first question here on our practice page. All right, and I'm not talking about the one that's already done for us. Number 2, Michael. Is that a square? Yes or no? Good, it's not, because it doesn't have equal sides. Is it a rectangle? You betcha. Is it a rhombus? No. Is it a trapezoid? Well, as we talked about earlier, Michael, you're absolutely right. Almost all rectangles are trapezoids. Number 3. Let's see. Carson, is that a square? No. Rectangle? No. Rhombus? No. Trapezoid? Yep. Trapezoid. Why? Well, because we've got top and bottom that are parallel. That means parallel. All right. Wiley. Which ones have no right angles? No right angles at all, Wiley. B, D, and E. Good job, Wiley. Which ones do have right angles? Girls. A, C. That's it, right? Boys. Which ones have 4 sides of equal length? I just like to say 4 equal sides. Boys. Which ones? B, C, and D. B, C, and D. Good job, boys. Last problem, and then we're going to flip it. A picture on the wall in Jeremy's classroom has 4 right angles, 4 equal sides, and 2 opposite sides that are parallel. What quadrilateral best describes his picture? So right off the bat, we know that it has 4 right angles. So we know it has to be one of 2 options. Think, which shapes have right angles? Only 2. Square and a rectangle. So this is either going to be a square or rectangle. But then, here's the really important piece of advice. 4 sides that are equal. We know specifically a square has 4 equal sides. And this last piece we don't even need to know, but it helps. 2 pairs of parallel sides. Just to confirm, a square. Didn't work. I'll have to rewrite it. A square is his picture. Okay, great job. Before I flip the page here, it's got the answers on it. I want you to pause the video and I want you to try your best to answer all those questions on the back of this page, okay? Good luck. All right, I'm about to show you the answers here. There it is. Pause this screen so you can check yourself. Okay, go take a break, all right? Good work. This was a hard day's worth of math, and you made it through. The rest of today will be a little bit easier, I promise. So take yourself a nice break and come back and see me in a little bit. All right, welcome back with us. I hope you had a good break. We are going to continue today's lesson with some reading. Now, we have a passage from our Storytown book that I'm going to show you. It's a little passage from a great book called Charlotte's Web, and I'm gonna make this an optional piece of today's lesson. If you have time today and you want to do it, you can. But it's not mandatory. So if you don't want to do it today, you don't have the time, then just fast forward the video a little bit and pick up with us where we need to be. Okay, so here's the piece from Charlotte's Web. You're more than welcome to skip through this if you want. So Charlotte's Web here. Feel free to pause the screen if you're going to read it. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that excerpt for those of you that read it. If not, we are going to focus on our skill this week, which is making what? Who remembers? Yeah, making inferences. That was our skill. So an inference is whenever you use clues from what you've read to make an educated guess about something or someone from the story without being told. All right, so the author's not going to straight up tell you. You're going to have to, kind of use clues like an investigator. So let's do a couple examples today. You helped cook a meal for your family and everyone went back for seconds. What can you infer? Monsters. What can you infer? Yeah, you made a good meal, right? Yummy, yummy, good meal. Good meal, yummy. Next. This one's the hard one. Let's see how well you pay attention in school. You notice that all 5th and 6th graders are wearing their Mustang Pride shirts and jeans. This one's tough. Incredibles. What do you think? Yeah, this one's tough. The answer is that there's a chorus or band concert. You know how the 5th and 6th graders, they always have to wear jeans and their Mustang shirts during concert days? Maybe you didn't notice that, but if you did, you would have made that inference. All right, last one for today. This one I think everyone can figure out. You are at the airport and a man runs past you with a suitcase. What can you infer? I've been there. He's running late for his flight. All right, that was an all play. Let's see if it lands on wild. Oh, it would have. That would have been perfect. All right, so I hope you like the example of my son Campbell on yesterday's Google form. He stole my slippers, so that's why the answer was he took Daddy's slippers. I thought it was funny though. The slippers were so big, I had to include that answer about getting hit by a shrink, right? No, he did not shrink. He just decided to be a bad boy and steal Daddy's shoes. Okay, folks, we are going to move on to our next topic, which is our aquarium, our Monterey Bay science unit that we've been talking about. So last time we talked about zoologists. Zoologists are scientists who study animals. There are specific types of zoologists. This type of zoologist is a marine biologist. Marine means water, biologist means someone who studies living things. So a marine biologist studies aquatic or water-like creatures. So let's look at a sea star. I always call them starfish. Okay, here we go.
Like an advancing army, the sea stars move into position, slowly but surely working their way up toward their victims. The mussels cannot run or fight. All they can do is hide within their shells as their killers crawl over their bodies. Sensory tube feet sweep over the tightly packed mass of shells, searching for any gap in the muscle's defenses. Settling on its victim, the sea star hunkers down and begins its attack. The miniature camera, tucked within the mussel's shell, gives us the first look ever at the carnage that unfolds here every day. Once the tube feet have physically breached the mussel's defensive line, the sea star's translucent stomach begins the final assault. The animal actually pushes its stomach inside the mussel's shell, unfolding like a fatal flower. The stomach unleashes a volley of chemical weapons, digestive juices that dissolve the mussel's soft pink flesh. All that's left is a nutrient-rich soup, a broth that's quickly absorbed by the sea star.
All right, so I just wanted to explain something really quick. The look, I'm putting my face in the danger zone in the starfish's stomach. Oh, gross. So the starfish's stomach is able to excrete, that means like release all these powerful chemicals, just like you have in your stomach. All right, and those chemicals literally they're acid and they break down the muscle's flesh so that it can just slurp it up like a straw. Okay, pretty gross, but also a great way for an animal to eat.
Having assimilated the muscle, the sea star's stomach pulls away, and the animal moves on, leaving behind an empty shell. Without the benefit of speed, brains, or brawn, sea stars are amazingly successful predators.
All right, so that was a video of a starfish. Now check out this type of starfish. It's way bigger and it doesn't have 5 arms like normal sea stars.
This is Pycnopodia, a giant among sea stars. It can have more than 20 arms and grow larger than a manhole cover. It is clearly recognized by the other animals in this community as a force to be reckoned with. As Pycnopodia makes its way among the rocks, it picks up the trail of 2 snails. Realizing they are under attack, the snails make a run for their lives. Finding itself in Pycnopodia's clutches, one snail desperately tries to twist itself free. It escapes, but not for long. Caught in Pycnopodia's fatal embrace, the snail will be swallowed whole. It will take days for it to be digested. Giving the other snail another chance at winning the game of survival.
All right, so sea stars are pretty fascinating creatures, huh? And they feed a little bit differently than mammals. Um, I think that they're really cool. I remember when I was in Alaska, I actually got to see some sea stars in the wild. But uh, the most important thing that I want you to take from this video is that uh, every single creature has adapted its own way of hunting and finding food that best meets its needs. In this case, the sea star is able to actually shoot its stomach out of its body into the mussel, right, the shell, to get a meal. And what we might think is gross is actually just one animal's way of surviving. All right, pretty cool stuff. Let's finish today off with some grammar simple solutions. How about it? We are on lesson 111. Let's do it. Combine two simple sentences into a compound sentence. Can you call me after lunch? Do you want to call me tonight? How can we combine these two? Well, let's get rid of the question mark and put a, what do you think, Jasper? Yep, we're going to add a comma. So can you call me after lunch, comma? Blank, do you want to call me tonight? Evan, which conjunction makes sense? Can you call me after lunch? Yeah. Or do you want to call me tonight? There's only one other thing that we need to fix. What is it, London? Good, we need to lowercase the d. And the way to do that is to put a dash through it. That means lowercase, all right? So whoever's reading that knows that's a lowercase. And we don't have to do anything else, folks. We don't need to write it down on the line because we don't have a lot of time left. Number 2, which is the strongest verb? Now, I always hate these questions because you can make an argument for every single one, but we're going to do our best here to figure out what the book probably thinks is the strongest. So let's see. Sophie. When its mother left the room, the baby began to cry, sniffle, or wail. Which one would be like the most terrible, extreme reaction? Sniffle is the weakest, right? So which is stronger, cry or wail? Wail, definitely, right? To wail is like to really hardcore cry. The root port means to carry. Which of these meanings matches the word portable? So let's read the sentence. I bought a bike that weighed 8 pounds so it'd be more portable. So hard to take along. What do you think, Bobby? No. A light bike, 8 pounds, light, would not make it hard. Easier to carry. Yeah, carry is what port means. Easy to take apart now. Good job, Bobby. Number 4, which words match the underlined word? So because it says choose the words, we know it's probably more than one. Lucas. The picnic launched the new school year. Launched means closed? Nah. Started? Yup. Began? Yep. How about stopped, Lucas? The picnic stopped the new school year? No. Not unless that picnic had coronavirus, and then it would stop the new school year. Just like it stopped our school year. Number 5. Patina, what does the underlined word mean? The rope climbing was just grueling. What do you think? Exhausting, easy, or enjoyable? I agree. Exhausting, right? Climbing a rope is not easy, and Maybe if you're Michael Knopp, it's enjoyable, but for the rest of us, it's not. All right, number 6. Cody. Circle the noun that is the subject of the sentence. Underline the noun that is the object. So the subject comes at the beginning, right? So the Browns won the game. This is perfect for you, Cody. The Browns. Good. Browns is the subject. And which one is my object noun? Fish. If this is the verb right here, one, has to come after the verb. So is it the or game, Peyton? Good, it's game, right? Game is a thing. The is actually an article, if you remember. So this sentence is obviously not true because the Browns never win. So don't know why they put that in there. Number 7, read the words, draw a line to separate them into syllables. Jacob, fever. Where is it? Fever. Fever. What do you think? Right there, maybe? Just chop the V in half? No. It kind of sounds like it. Fever. Right there. Jacob, climate. Good. Hotel. Pilot. It's perfect for you, dudes, because your dad is a pilot. Well done. All right, moving on. Emily, write the correct form of the adjective. Do you really think this keyboard is badder than that one? Good job, Emily. Badder, right? Just kidding. Worse. Batter is not a word unless you're talking about baseball or pancake batter, but that's spelled with 2 T's. Willow, which words can be used as nouns? Give me one of them. Which ones are people, places, or things? Good. Willow, water. Michael. Yep, a coach is a person. Carson. Not striped, that's an adjective. Not freezing, that's an adjective. Zoo, that's a place. Good job, Carson. And that leaves the last question, Wiley. Plural possessive. So Tina and Kay wanted to go swimming, but the girls' swimsuits were in the car. Let's make it plural first. So the plural version of girl is girls. Now how do I make it possessive, Wiley? I have to add, good, an apostrophe. All right, well done. You can close your books. Another hard day of school. You guys have been working your butts off, and I appreciate that. And because of how hard you've worked, and because this is Holy Week, right? Easter's on Sunday. I am going to keep things really, really light the next 2 days. All right. You weren't even supposed to have school, but now we do magically. So I'm going to keep things super light. You're going to want to log in and submit the assignment. That way you get credit for it. But I promise you it'll be quick. All right. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Okay, guys, I can't wait to see you tonight at 7 o'clock p.m. on Google Meet. I will put the link on your Google Classroom stream so that you can get on. If you have any questions or trouble with that, let me know. What else? Oh yeah, hey, if you do have some free time and you want, you can always scroll down in your Google Classroom stream and open up that Room 304 mailing list. All right. One of the nicest things that I've gotten in the mail the last few days was a letter from Jacob Dubiel. It brightened my spirits, and I wrote him back. And if you would like to write a letter to me or to one of your friends from class, or even to someone in class that you might not be close friends with, but you want to be kind and cheer up their day, go look at that list because everyone's address is on there. With that, I have nothing else to say, but Get outside and play. I'll see you tonight at 7. I love you guys, and I miss you. Mr. R is officially